You're listening to the One Man Show Network. Welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast with your host, Aaron Weinbaum.
Hey kids, welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast. I am your host, Aaron Weinbaum, and I just freaking started this Periscope over twice because I forgot to do my backup recording, and I forgot to do it again. So here's the backup recording. Anyway, we are here to pick the fights for UFC 230 at the Garden, Madison Square Garden. This is an event that has been plagued by many losses of a main event. So we'll go from the bottom of the card all the way up. I'm not picking all the fights. I'm just picking the ones that interest me because, you know, it's my podcast and that's what I do. Those of you on Periscope, feel free to jump in and make a comment, make a pick with me, and you'll be on the YouTube later as well as an audio podcast that I will post. Now, that being said, let's go down the list and make some picks. First off, I like doing these after they weigh in. I didn't mean to do that this week, but, just in case there were some misses. And there was a miss. There was Sierra Eubanks, who missed weight today by 2 pounds. This is for a flyweight fight. The reason this is so important was she was at one time the main event for this card because they were searching. I like to make a joke that Dana White's new YouTube show would be Dana White searching for a main event. But she was supposed to fight Valentina Shevchenko for the vacant 125-pound belt. That didn't happen. Sierra Eubanks now fights Roxanne Modafferi. So let's take a look at this. Sierra, she hasn't been fighting all that long. She does have a win over Lauren Murphy. That's kind of a big deal. She loses to Aspen Ladd. This is back in Invicta, I believe. So really, she wins her only fight, but she's lost to Caitlin Chukagian. She's no joke. But this is way back in 2015. So we have Roxanne Modafferi, who's been around forever. She's just kind of made a resurgence here the last few years. She last beat Barb Honchak, who's no joke, and this is back in July. Before that, she lost to Nika Montoya, who it was for the belt, for the inaugural 125-pound flyweight belt. Now, that being said, you never know when somebody misses weight if if they drained themselves to do it or they just kind of gave up because they knew they were going to miss and they didn't want to drain themselves anymore. But I'm going to go with the journeywoman here. I think Roxanne Modafferi takes this. She wins. Next up, I only picked this fight for one reason only. Matt the Steamroller Frevola taking on Lando Venata. Lando, I believe, Funky Venata. I believe that Funky is quite the nickname here. Oh, Groovy. I'm sorry. Lando Groovy Venata. My bad. Thank you. So 2 of the best nicknames in all of sports. One, of course, Matt the Steamroller Frevola trains with the Long Island boys, Sarah Longo, Weidman, all those guys. Of course, the great Al Iaquinta. This will be his second fight in the UFC. This will be Frevola's second fight. He lost the first fight against Marco Polo Reyes. But in the end, it came back that Reyes was on the juice. He got pulled for something with USADA. I don't know if this was changed to a no contest or not. It's not showing up that it did. Before that, he's got all wins, including a fight on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series back August last year, so almost a year ago. Then you got Groovy Lando Venata. He came in on a short notice fight against Tony Ferguson. I remember watching this fight thinking, wow, this guy's tagging Tony a little bit. So clearly he's got some good striking, and Tony was getting rocked. Tony didn't exactly have time to prepare for this gentleman either. Oh, thanks for all the hearts. Feel free to jump in and help me pick some fights. I'll read them on air. He loses. I believe it was a Darce choke, round 2 in that fight. Really exciting up to that point. And then he rattles off a win against John Medeski. Loses to David Tamir, draws against Bobby Green, and then gets beat. Drakkar Klose, unanimous decision. That was last July. So, man, I like the way those guys come to fight at Serra-Longo. I think Lando is super exciting, and he could win with a strike anytime, but I got to go with Long Island. Probably the best nickname now in the UFC besides Andre Touchy-Feely since Mark Hand of Godbeer got released. So I am picking Matt Frevola to win at 155 pounds. Next up, this is exciting too. Derrick Brunson at middleweight against Israel Adesanya, the last style bender. That's a nice nickname too. That's pretty cool. I keep picking against the last style bender because he's new and they're building him up. But then he goes and beats Brad Tavares by wrestling him, man. And I didn't think this kid had wrestling in his it's not portfolio, but I don't know. Skill set. Let's say skill set, okay? He beats him, and it's a 5-round fight. Number one, he answered the call. Can he go 5 rounds? Number two, can he beat a wrestler? And he did, and it was impressive. Now, you got Derrick Brunson's last fight, just a weird little head kick deal from Jacare Sousa, who's also on this card. For that, he wins against Lyoto and Dan Kelly, Judo Dan Kelly. And then you got Israel, hasn't lost yet. I'm going with the new up-and-comer. I'm going with Israel. I'm going with the hype train here. I think he shows up better and better every time, and I think he's going to beat Derrick Brunson. So, here we go. David Branch, who had opponents changed on him, takes on Jared Cannonier. Now, what is interesting about this fight is I think he's going from light heavyweight. Yes, he's going from light heavyweight to middleweight. David Branch has altered back and forth. He's kind of a smaller light heavyweight, but he's best suited at middleweight. So his last fight, he beats Thiago Santos. Before that, he loses to Luke Rockhold. I was there. It was in Pittsburgh. I had food poisoning. That's all we need. I don't need to go into details, Me, floor seats, puking into a trash can. Thank you, seafood that came in a scoop. That's all I got to say about that. Jared Cannonier, bigger dude, lost 2 in a row. Jan Blachowicz and Dominic Reyes. Man. I got to go with David Branch here. I don't know what the weight cut's going to do to Jared. He's just got a little bit of a better resume. And he's won fights at 205 also. So going David Branch, not sure the method of victory, not sure the round. All right. Co-main, this could be a main on any card. Another Long Island favorite here in New York. And I forgot to mention that with Matt as well. You have 2 guys from New York fighting in New York. So you gotta realize not just the hometown advantage there, but also the fact that they don't have to travel. They don't have to worry about altitude change, time change, any of that stuff. So I like that. I like Chris Weidman coming back to fight at the Garden. His last fight, he beat now title contender Kevin Gastelum. This is at middleweight. Before that, he had a tough loss to Gegard Mousasi. That was a controversial stoppage. Loses to Yoel Romero before that. Loses to Luke Rockhold before that. But he beat the number 1 guy. That was his last fight. We remember the most recent things here in MMA. So, just remember that. And he has beaten some legends, including Anderson Silva twice when Anderson Silva was prime Anderson Silva. Then you got Jacare Sousa. Now, he also fought Kevin Gastelum last, but Kevin out-grappled him, man. And it ended up being a split decision, but he lost. Before that, he beat Derrick Brunson. That's a big deal, too. But he lost to the champ, Robert Whittaker. And he's kind of alternated, gone back and forth. Hasn't been that active either. I take that back. He did fight last May, and Weidman hasn't fought since, it's over a year, since July last year. But I go with the experience. I go with the fact he's at home. I go with the fact he is a former champion in the UFC. Weidman all the way. Another Ray Longo victory. Serra-Longo victory. By the way, if you've never been to a live UFC fight and seen Serra-Longo live, you can hear them over the crowd, man. If their corner misses any directions whatsoever, they need to get their hearing checked. All right, lots of people jumping on and off the Periscope. Feel free to chime in because we are picking the main event. Let this soak in for a moment. Daniel Cormier, DC double champ, Daniel Cormier, double chin maybe, I don't know, taking on Derrick Lewis, the Black Beast. Now, urban legend will say this feud started over Popeye's chicken. From a video that he made, that would be Daniel Cormier, that my friend Adam Hunter produced. So, Derrick didn't like the fact that he disrespected the Popeye's chicken. How about that? Thanks for all the hearts. I love it. Feel free to jump in on the main event pick, because here it comes. Then Daniel Cormier fought Stipe for the championship, rather. I thought Stipe was going to win because, DC's been at light heavyweight forever. Stipe's been knocking everybody out, beating everyone. Man. And, you got DC, who really last heavyweight he beat was, I got to go way back here. Roy Nelson? Wow, back in 2013. And then, he's got to put on the weight. What's he going to weigh? Okay, today it weighed in the 250s. And I thought that was significant, that I can't believe how much he was cutting down to make 205. And he's still a big dude at 205. That being said, you have Derrick the Black Beast Lewis. All right. He fought less than a month ago in a fight he was getting creamed up until the last seconds, literally the last 11 seconds of round 3 against Alexander Volkov, who I thought was going to win because I thought his skill sets, as it showed, were better. But, Derrick Lewis does this thing where he lures you in. You think he's hurt, you think he's fat, you think he's out of shape, and boom, it's night time. That being said, Cormier took this fight because he thought it was an easy fight. They needed a main event. Cormier fought a few months ago. He's got a sore hand, but man, as much as I want to see the post-fight interview, because Derrick Lewis famously gave an interview last month. He took off his pants. He still had underwear on, but he said his balls was hot. So, and I think something interesting out of this too, Daniel Cormier was telling his story on Ariel Helwani, and he was talking about Carl's Jr. being broke and eating nothing but Carl's Jr. Now I think, if rumor is correct, somehow there's a little sponsorship thing going with Daniel Cormier and Carl's Jr. as well as Popeyes. For sure, that one, they are giving Derrick the Black Beast Lewis all the free Popeyes he can eat, I think, for life. They may regret that. Anyway, main event pick, last chance for you guys to chime in. You guys are just quiet Periscopers today. I'm going DC. Daniel Cormier, probably, I would say he's going to win this. He doesn't fight till later next year. He's earned that time off, and which may be his retirement fight. Who does he fight? John Jones, Brock Lesnar, probably. I don't know what weight class, so. But don't count out Derrick Lewis, man. He is beating some killers. Let's go down this list. He beat Ngannou in an absolute snore fest. Marcin Tybura lost to Mark Hunt, but anyone can lose to Mark Hunt. He beats Travis Brown, Roy Nelson, Gabriel Gonzaga, man. So, that being said, I'm still picking DC, but anything can happen. It's MMA, it's heavyweights. Everyone hopping into the Periscope. This is the tail end of this one, sorry. So, yeah, that's it. MMA fight picks. The full video will be on YouTube later. Please subscribe there. Or you can do the audio on Spreaker, iTunes, whatever. Man, it's called the MMA Fight Picks Podcast. It's really easy to find. And that's it. Until next time, shalom.
Please remember to support the podcast by visiting the affiliate links on AaronSaysWhat.com.
Are you looking for a permanent home for your podcast? Well, Spreaker can do it all. Spreaker will give you your own RSS feed that you can submit to other platforms, including iTunes. Spreaker's mobile app will let you record from your smartphone, or you can use their web-based console with everything you need to record. Their podcasting plans include being able to host multiple shows at no extra charge. Got a YouTube channel? Spreaker's got you covered. You can effortlessly upload your podcast audio to your channel. You can even move your current podcast to Spreaker without losing any of your iTunes subscribers. Try any plan 30 days for free using promo code ASW.